Good evening, guys, and welcome back to Growing a Homestead. This evening we are creating a do-it-yourself brooder for chickens, ducks, you name it.
For this project, you'll need some hardware cloth, some zip ties, a box cutter that is extremely sharp, some wire cutters, some pliers, a heat lamp, a 125 watt heat bulb, and a drill.
A lot of these items you can just find in your home, so it's pretty simple and it's not time consuming at all.
Nope, not at all.
Okay, and you also will need a tote. You can just buy this at, you're in my way. Why didn't you? You can just buy this at any dollar store, Walmart, any box store. This doesn't have to be the thick, expensive ones.
We are using a 30-gallon tote. And yes, we have 3 of these, so that way we could just interchange them. As one gets dirty, you just put the chicks in the clean one and then just keep rotating them.
You always have a clean one on hand. That way you're not needing to create a clean one while worrying about where do you put your animals.
Correct.
Be prepared. Okay. So the first step, you have the lid. If you don't need a lid unless we have dogs, as you can probably hear them or see them. Okay, if you have pets, cats, dogs, whatever you may have in your home, you may want some type of lid or protector for your animals. So this is what we're about to show you how to protect them. Or if you don't really need a lid. Up to you. But that also depends on, as we'll show you, how you plan to use, where to put the heat lamp. If you plan to just set it on top, like we are about to show you, then you will need to do the lid. Okay, so you take your handy little box cutter, and you're literally just going to follow the outline on the lid of the lines on the lid. I don't know. So,
Just being very, very careful.
once you get it in there, it actually slides.
It's out.
And we saved the middle portion for the next step. You do not need it in the long run, so you can pitch it, but just keep this around until you're done with the lid. So for, like I said, for the next step, we just use this, and this is just for a protector. If you are drilling holes on something that you don't care about, or it's outside or concrete or whatever, you don't necessarily need this. We just used it just for protecting our table or whatever. So you just take your drill.
Yeah. Drill.
And we're just doing it in like the corners. So here, 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 and here, and then we also did here and here, and then by these things. So we just kind of
basically follow these lines, and that's where we put a hole. Is right next to them usually.
And there's really no right or wrong amount. So if you have more than what we do, then it's just going to be tighter and more secure. If you have less, it may not be as secure, because if you leave big gaps, then an animal can get through there, but it's kind of your preference. So here we go. And you'll need 2 holes, as you're seeing, at each side. I don't know if you can see those holes or not. So that way zip ties can go in and out and create a circle.
Hardware cloth to the lid.
And this can be a one-man job or two-man. You don't need two people if you don't have that, which makes it even better. Okay.
Okay, next step, we're going to take the hardware cloth and just lay it over top of the lid. And just lay it like this, and then get a general idea of where to cut. And we basically just shape it to the cutout. So you could technically use the cutout and just lay it on top of the hardware cloth, but we just do it this way.
Our handy dandy wire cutters.
She does one side, and I usually do the other.
I recommend getting some that do not have these little grippies because it does hurt. Then we lay it down. Be careful.
Be extremely sharp.
And then you don't have to do this, but we trim the corners a little bit just to make it lay a little bit nicer. To fit around the rounded shape of the lid.
Okay.
Did you do that for me? I'm gonna have you hold it.
Hold this down.
On the last two, you probably do want a little help unless you can hold it by yourself. That way you can just get a nice snug fit. And like I said, you go down first and then back up. Your other one. So then you're just going to tighten these up.
I just use a rocking motion back and forth. Just like that.
Okay, so once you get all of your zip ties, you can tell it's nice and secure, very tight. It's a very clean look on the outside. And the next thing you want to do is take your wire cutters, and then you don't have to, but we just trim the excess zip ties off. That way it just looks nicer, and also you don't have to worry about it bothering the animals. So this is the lid, a complete finished look. I I cut very tight, and then you don't have to worry about your animals getting in there while your little babies are in the brooder.
Alright. So next, you're going to want to take your tote.
Okay, so once you get your lid done, now it's time to put it all together, fill it, and then you have a clean brooder for animals. So this is what we'll show you next. Can you explain what you have?
Bedding, we chose pine shavings. That way it's very absorbent for the urine and feces. Keeps it cleaner longer if you put a deep bedding in there. And then
Also, there's no smell.
No smell, and then once it gets old, you just throw it in your compost and it breaks down because it's pine shavings. So.
And they have this in different sizes. We got the fine, but they also have our mini flake. They also have the larger shavings if you have a larger animal.
Also, we got it at Farm and Home for $4.99, so $5 for this bag, and this will probably last, I'm going to guess, anywhere from a month or so, depending on how often you clean the brooder.
4 cubic feet. If you were drilling the holes over the tote, you might want to double check before you, because there's little pieces, you might want to dump that out. We'll clean up the mess later. That way your animals don't potentially try to eat it. And then I'm just going to rip the bag open. Okay. I'm going to hold it over so that way maybe it don't make a mess.
There you go. And then just kind of, yep. And you want it kind of deep, that way you don't have to keep changing it out, because if you have animals on deep bedding, you can keep them in one area longer.
Filled to your liking of however thick, you know, the thicker the better. And you may need to use something, because they have that pretty pack in there, to help break it up. I just used my pliers, just something simple to break it up. Then it's time to start putting in feeder, water. So we bought this. It is a 1 quart screw-on jar, and awesome enough. If you don't like plastic, we do not like plastic. Mason jars do
screw into these,
and you can use that instead of having
a plastic jug.
So yes, and we just got this at Farm and Home, and I don't remember, it was like $9 or something. And we can link that for you
in the description.
So yeah, you just get your water, feeder, and place it in there, like so.
And then all you do is put the lid on.
Lid, once you get your animals in there, maybe.
So you take your lid and place it on top, and then what we do is just lay the heat lamp right on top, away from the water, so you have water and food on one side, heat lamp on the other.
And so you can just lay it, but this is a bigger heat lamp, so if it's too hot for the animals,
you can always hang it
above, high, you need it. Because the one we're using currently is a smaller heat lamp, and it's actually been working pretty nicely. And so far there's been no melting of the plastic from the heat, because we did look at the temperature. We had a thermometer in there and it gets
up to like 118 degrees.
Yeah. So
you might have to adjust this.
And the lid doesn't fit super tight, so if you did want to buy one of the heftier totes that maybe snaps here, that made you feel more safe and secure. But so far our animals we've had no issue with the lid, and we do have 3 animals. We have a German Shepherd, a Golden Doodle, and a Beagle Lab, and they just go, look, sniff, and that's really it. So,
So, if you liked this video, hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave a comment, because we have never grown any farm animals. We're just starting out the, I guess, homesteading lifestyle. So if you have any tips, tricks, or anything, just drop it down below in the comments. Thanks for watching.